Drowning in debt. A modern epidemic? We've all been there. You see something you want. You whip out your credit card. You tell yourself, I deserve this. But then the bill arrives. And suddenly, that treat yourself moment feels a lot less fun. In today's world, debt has become as commonplace as a Netflix subscription. But when does this easy access to credit go from a convenience to a crippling addiction? Debt, in its simplest form, is borrowing money with the promise to pay it back later. Sounds easy enough, right? But here's the catch: interest. So how did we get here? Why is debt such a pervasive issue in our society? Let's dive in and try to unpack this modern-day dilemma, shall we? More than just numbers. Debt's human cost. Let's be clear, debt isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about real people, real families, struggling with real consequences. It's the single mom working 3 jobs to pay off medical bills. It's the college graduate drowning in student loan debt, unable to afford their own apartment. Imagine this. You're a recent graduate, excited to start your life. But before you even land your dream job, you're hit with a mountain of student loan debt. That dream vacation, postponed. Buying a house? Out of the question. Starting a family? A distant fantasy. Debt can put your life on hold, robbing you of opportunities and experiences. So the next time you hear someone dismiss debt as just a financial issue, remember this. Behind those numbers are real people with real lives, struggling to stay afloat. Trapped in the spending spiral, the lure of instant gratification. We live in a world of instant gratification. Want to watch a movie? Netflix? Hungry? Order food online? Need new shoes? 2-day shipping, baby. We're conditioned to get what we want when we want it. And that's where debt comes in, offering us a tantalizing solution: buy now, pay later. But here's the thing about instant gratification: it's a fleeting high. That rush of excitement you get from buying a new gadget fades quickly. What remains is the cold, hard reality of debt. So, how do we resist the siren song of instant gratification? How do we break free from the spending spiral and make more mindful choices? Stay tuned. The psychology of debt: why we spend more than we have. Debt isn't just a financial problem, it's a psychological one too. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, and spending money, even if it's money we don't have, can trigger those feel-good chemicals in our brains. Think about it. Buying a new outfit, going on a fancy vacation, or even just ordering takeout instead of cooking can provide a temporary escape from stress and boredom. But the problem is, these feelings are temporary. The guilt and anxiety of debt quickly creep in, replacing those initial feelings of pleasure. So how do we break free from this vicious cycle? How do we rewire our brains to find joy and satisfaction in things that don't require us to empty our wallets? That's what we'll explore next. The debt illusion: keeping up with the Joneses. Have you ever scrolled through Instagram and felt that pang of envy seeing someone else's picture-perfect life? The exotic vacations, the designer clothes, the perfectly curated homes. It's enough to make anyone feel inadequate. We live in a culture that constantly bombards us with images of what we're supposed to have, what we're supposed to look like, and how we're supposed to live. And often, debt becomes the tool we use to try and bridge the gap between our reality and these unrealistic expectations. We buy things we don't need, with money we don't have, to impress people we don't even like. But here's the secret: the Joneses are probably in debt too. Social media has amplified this pressure to portray a certain image, to create a highlight reel of our lives, even if it means going into debt to do so. So, how do we escape this cycle of comparison and find contentment in our own lives without feeling the need to keep up with everyone else's carefully curated online personas? From individuals to society, the ripple effect of debt. Debt doesn't exist in a vacuum. It spreads like a virus. It infects individuals, then families, and eventually the entire economy. When a significant portion of the population is burdened with debt, it has a ripple effect on everyone. Think about it. When people are struggling to pay off debt, they have less disposable income. This means they spend less on goods and services, which hurts businesses. Businesses then have to cut costs, which could lead to layoffs. Furthermore, high levels of debt can lead to increased social inequality. Those with fewer resources often end up paying higher interest rates, trapping them in a cycle of debt that can be difficult to break free from. Debt can also put a strain on government resources. Breaking free from the shackles of debt. So we've established that debt is bad, very bad. But what can we do about it? How do we break free from its clutches and start building a healthier relationship with money? The good news is, it's not hopeless. First and foremost, acknowledge the problem. It's like that first step in any 12-step program. Admitting you have a problem is crucial to overcoming it. Don't bury your head in the sand and hope the problem magically disappears. Face it head on. Next, create a budget. Yes, I know, the dreaded B word. But trust me, budgeting doesn't have to be a soul-crushing exercise in deprivation. The power of budgeting. Budgeting. The very word can send shivers down the spines of even the most financially savvy among us. It conjures up images of spreadsheets, calculators, and endless deprivation. But fear not, dear reader, for budgeting doesn't have to be a form of financial self-flagellation. Think of a budget as a financial roadmap. It helps you track where your money is going, identify areas where you might be overspending, and make conscious choices about how you want to allocate your hard-earned cash. Start by tracking your spending for a month. You might be surprised to discover where your money is actually going. That daily latte habit, it adds up. Those impulse Amazon purchases, they're eating into your travel fund. Once you have a clear picture of your spending habits, you can start setting realistic financial goals. Remember, budgeting isn't about deprivation, it's about prioritization. Seeking professional help. Just like you wouldn't hesitate to see a doctor for a physical ailment, seeking professional help for your finances can be incredibly beneficial. Financial advisors, credit counselors, and debt consolidation services can provide valuable guidance and support as you navigate the often complex world of personal finance. Think of it like hiring a personal trainer for your finances. They can help you create a customized plan, provide accountability, and offer expert advice tailored to your specific situation. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There are resources available both online and in your community that can provide guidance and support. Websites like the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, NFCC, offer free or low-cost credit counseling and debt management services. Seeking professional help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Building a future free from debt. So you've acknowledged your debt, created a budget, and maybe even sought professional help. Now what? It's time to shift your mindset and start building a future free from the shackles of debt. This means changing your relationship with money. Start by focusing on your why. What are your financial goals? What do you want your life to look like 5, 10, 20 years from now? Having a clear vision of your future self can provide motivation and help you stay on track when those tempting spending opportunities arise. Next, adopt a save first, spend later mentality. Instead of waiting until the end of the month to see how much money you have left, spoiler alert, it's probably not much, make saving a priority. Set up automatic transfers to your savings account, even if it's just a small amount each paycheck. A collective responsibility. Breaking free from the grip of debt isn't just an individual responsibility, it's a collective one. We need to create a society that encourages responsible spending habits, provides access to financial education, and offers support to those struggling with debt. Governments can play a role by implementing policies that promote financial literacy, regulate predatory lending practices, and make higher education more affordable. Financial institutions can contribute by offering transparent and fair lending practices, providing accessible financial education resources, and working with borrowers facing financial hardship. But ultimately, it comes down to each of us making conscious choices about our relationship with money. We need to challenge the societal norms that equate spending with happiness and success. Remember, breaking free from the cycle of debt isn't just about achieving financial freedom. It's about creating a more just and equitable society for everyone.